Hi, you guys. Welcome to Cat's Prayer Corner podcast on the Women's Wednesday testimony. So today I have my cousin Rachael, and she was the first baby in the family to be born. So I feel like she's my baby, but now she's all growing up, which is so awesome because now we get to be friends and talk, and it's so great. And just welcome, girl. Welcome.
Thank you.
I just love you so much. And I wish you were closer. You live in Illinois. So I know,
Yeah, but I feel like I'm living in Texas right now.
yeah, I know. You were saying the weather was really hot and
Mm-hmm.
it's the season in Texas too, for sure. So let's get into it. Normally I ask kind of a fun question just to start off our little session here is if you could have a superpower, what would it be?
It would be, was it be telepathy? Is that what it's called? Where you don't have to actually go from like drive or fly to one place or another. You just go there and
Yes.
you're there in the snap of a finger.
In the snap of a
That'd be
finger.
awesome.
Um, Melinda, who was on the show, also said that. She's like, yeah, I just want to transport from one place to another and not have to drive. I save money on gas. I
Exactly.
was
Yeah.
like, that's a real thing. Uh,
Mm-hmm. And if I want to go see a site and I only have like a day, well, I can get there right away
there you go.
and come
Yeah,
back.
there you go. And then you could like just go anywhere, like to see me.
Exactly.
Show up at my house in Texas.
Right? What
I
you
love
doing,
it.
girl?
I know. Oh my gosh, that would be so rad. I wish you lived closer. Oh man. When we were little, I lived in Illinois and we were able to spend some good quality time together when we were kids. And you sent me a picture of us. How
Yes,
old were
I
you?
did.
Were you like 5 in that picture that you sent me?
Yeah, like 4 or 5, somewhere in there.
And I must have been like 12 or something. And then
Yeah.
your brother, my cousin Jeremy, is in it and he's so cute too. So I'll put that in our video so people can see where we all came from. I'm brunette. Well, now I'm married,
Hmm.
so we know that's not natural. Excuse me. All right. So I know that we were raised with Grandma Brown, and she is like the most beautiful, most spiritual, loving grandma you could ever have. And I feel like she really introduced us to the love of Jesus, you know?
Yeah,
And
pretty much.
don't you think that kind of
Hmm.
sparked all of our soulfulness? Um, and I remember being at grandma's house and like you would come over and we would play in the backyard and grandma would like always take care of us and that was so sweet. And I remember those times um as like a precious time, you know. Um but you know, and I don't want to tell your story, but how were those times? Like what was for you, what was that big God story that you've experienced? And did it have to do with something when you were a little person?
Yes, it did. And honestly, the first person I told about it was you.
I
And-
remember
mm,
walking around that block.
yeah, because
Hmm.
you wanted to go for a walk or something, and I'm like, let's go for a walk, or whatever. And you're like, well, yeah, I don't know. It's like you knew there was something more, but you just didn't know what was going to come out of my mouth.
Yes.
And what came out of my mouth, I didn't realize at the time how bad it was until I saw your reaction. And you're like, oh, we got to get home right now. And we got to tell mom, we got to tell grandma,
Oh
and
yeah.
all that. And I'm like, oh my God, what I just do? I thought I did something wrong. When it
Oh,
wasn't me who did something wrong and either at all.
right.
It was
Yes.
the adult that should have been keeping us safe, and they didn't.
Right. And,
So
yep. Go
I
ahead.
don't know if you want me to go in further,
Yeah.
but for those who have experienced sexual abuse,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I experienced
Yes.
from someone who was supposed to be, um, well, it was someone in my family. It was actually my stepfather.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
you and I both have had the worst step parents ever.
Stepfathers. Ugh.
And
Yeah.
that did not make it any better at all. It was horrible. And it didn't only happen to me, it happened to my brother as well.
Yeah. So not only was it happening to you, but you had to watch it happen
Hmm.
and you couldn't do anything about it.
No, I mean, I ended up living with my dad for 8 months or so, and nothing happened. My stepdad never got in trouble. He's still alive to this day. Um, and
And he's
that
never
just
gotten in trouble ever?
nothing at all. And so then I ended up going back, and then it just happened all over again, just got worse as I
It
got
did get
older.
worse. I didn't know that it got worse.
Oh yeah. And I tried getting out and I tried getting out, and I wasn't being believed. Nobody thought I was telling the truth. I mean, my dad always, I mean, he wanted to,
Kill him.
yes, kill
Yeah.
him.
Hmm.
I thought about it too when I was a kid growing up, and I'm glad that I never went through with any of the plans or anything, because then I would have been one, I'm sure, locked up. And then where would my life have been?
Right.
So I know that God was on my side about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Thought of ways of how you could like kill him.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I had held the gun that we had in our house, but not thinking I would kill him, but like kill myself because I
Mm,
was like, didn't want to go through it anymore, you know?
right.
Yeah. Did you ever
Well,
experience
good thing you
wanting
didn't.
to kill yourself during that time?
Um, I don't necessarily remember. I think honestly that's why I drank. I
Yeah.
went to alcohol,
Yes.
and I became like the professional drinker of the family, and I drank and drank and drank and drank, and I didn't even know where the heck I was anymore. But I did not want to feel any of that, so I numbed myself.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Um, I didn't do drugs. I mean, I tried pot or whatever, but that was like when I was already out of the house pretty much. But no, when I was living at home, it was totally the alcohol. And that's
So
what I
this is
did.
like your teenage years?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I did not know that.
Oh yeah. I was drank and drank at home, but
Yeah.
I got into bars too,
Yeah.
locally, some small bars, and I drank there too.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't know that we shared that. Um, we're family, right? And
Yeah.
alcohol runs, generationally. And my mom doesn't drink. Grandma never really drank, but my dad did, which I know is not on our side. But it's interesting. We had similar pain,
Hmm.
stepdad pain, different but the same. And to kill it, we went to alcohol.
Yeah. I mean,
You
I
don't
didn't
really
know any
drink
other
that
way.
much anymore, do you?
I don't drink at all.
Yeah.
No, because now I'm on like anxiety and depression meds, so you
Yeah,
don't want to
it
mix
makes it
that
worse.
up. But
Yeah.
honestly, even before I was put on those, because I wasn't diagnosed till way later with that, um, when I was out of that situation, I didn't even feel like really drinking anymore. Like I did at first when I was together with my now husband,
Hmm.
but no, I didn't have that urge to really do that after a while. I'm like, I don't
Right.
have that pain to numb. I can live a little bit, even though it's taken me a long while to still feel comfortable with a man.
Mm,
Um, because I don't feel comfortable around just any man
right.
at all.
Right.
I don't want my doctor to be a man.
Yeah.
Oh, it just is giving me, I have that boundary
Sure.
set,
Yes.
and I have to keep that there because I just don't want to even be put into any weird situation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm like right along with you on that. My
yeah.
doctor's a girl. Everybody I talk to is girls. The only
Hmm.
men I talk to are the ones in my family.
Right. Yeah.
Because yeah, it's scary.
Hmm. Even if it's like a friend of someone, I don't open up to anybody until I feel like I can. Like it's
Yeah.
okay to.
Hmm.
I'm not just gonna open up in front of anybody. I don't know
Yeah.
what you're gonna do with that information.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, we have to create the boundaries for ourselves because if we don't, there could be you know, going back, withdrawal, going back into the trauma responses, right?
Mhm.
Now you've worked a lot on this particular um trauma that has really carried through your life here. How has
Oh
that,
yeah, over 20 years.
yeah, it's just how old are you now?
I'm 35.
You're 35. So yeah, and this happened about when you were 5, right? Or before?
Yeah, five, between 5 and 7.
Okay. So I mean, you're looking at, 30 years of having to really deal with the other person who hurt you. Like, it's so interesting that he has not gotten in trouble. How can we get him
Oh
in
yeah.
trouble?
Well, because when I told, it was 2 years after that major event that happened, and there weren't any bruises, there weren't any physical things. So DCFS did nothing. There were CPS wasn't even involved. I don't even know if that was a thing then, but
Yeah.
DCFS we talked to, they took notes, never heard from them again. They had me in counseling, different counselors I saw, nothing ever happened to them. So I got sick and tired of seeing people, seeing different people, going to a courthouse. They wanted me to talk in this humongous courthouse. I'm like, I'm scared to death. I'm a shy person. Like, I'm not going to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
So no.
Especially when you were little. You were
Mm-hmm.
so shy. Like, you didn't
Yeah.
really talk to many people. I mean, you always talk to me, but
Right.
but you like, I mean, yeah. So, and he was counting on that. He was
Mm-hmm.
counting on you not being able to do that. So look at you now. Now you can
Yeah.
speak it. Setting
Yeah.
the
That's why I
video.
didn't get to go to like any friend's place or anything. So they didn't want me to say anything. I mean,
Ah,
yeah,
yes,
that's why I'm not connected with like any friends. Like I don't have any friends who I've hung out with since like
little
I was
girl.
little because I couldn't
Yeah,
stay connected.
right. So how old were you when you started, like, escaped, really, I guess is what you should say. Got
When
out
I
of
was
there.
18.
Mm-hmm.
I turned 18 in May and I was out of there right before college started in August. I moved to grandma's
Yeah.
in Rockford, their
Mm-hmm.
old house. Yeah, I
And
slept at
now,
work and I just because he said he was going to take my car away and insurance away, something that I paid for. Didn't pay nothing for. I paid for. I worked for on my own. He didn't even want. Hasn't worked in who knows how long.
mm.
Do happy person. He's just the male version of a Karen, I guess. I don't know.
What is the male version of a Karen? I feel like it should be like Todd or something.
Something. It's just like I don't know.
Yeah. So when you moved into grandma's, did that start your journey with the healing? When did you feel God showing up?
Probably when he honestly had me meet Nick. Because I
Oh,
was looking for somebody, and I did not find the right people at all.
yeah.
And then I'm like, you know what? Just forget it. I'm just gonna lay low, do my own thing, like just go to work. I have my dogs, have
Yeah.
grandma. I mean,
Right.
grandma and I didn't even see much of each other because we were like such an opposite schedules, but we still had fun, played Rummy Cube, and
And she's always praying with you and like, and
yes.
and just showing by example. She wakes up every morning, she sits with the Bible, she pours in to herself through meditation and prayer. And just, I mean,
Oh,
I
half the time
know
when I
just to
got up,
watch
she was
her.
already at church or she was
Yeah.
at a Bible study or something. Her calendar, you can even see what day of the week it was because it's full with activities. Like
Yeah.
she was a busy, busy woman.
Yeah. Spreading the word, always doing,
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, and the prayer chain that she would always call, and they would always
Yes.
have prayers to add on to everybody.
Yes. And now grandma's still with us. She's so,
Oh
so
yeah.
good. I
Yeah.
just want everybody to know that she just turned 89 and she's in Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
and doing great. Just talked to her a couple days ago. So, and she sounds happy and healthy. Um,
Yes.
but I think that watching her as little girls,
Mm-hmm.
um, take that time for herself to make sure she was in alignment with the Holy Spirit so she could handle all of us.
All right.
You know, I mean, you need peace and discernment I mean, she was a widow very young. Your dad was like 2. So she had,
One. He
or
was
he was
one.
1. Yeah. So she had 4 kids,
Yeah.
and a baby, and she put herself through college and got a master's degree. But what did she never fail to do? Wake up and give her day to God.
Mm-hmm. She never gave up.
She never gave
I
up.
don't know if she ever wanted to. She never said that I know of.
Never heard her complain.
Mm-mm.
Mm.
Nope. And they moved even to like a little studio with the 4 of them.
Yeah, they were
And
sleeping in
heck,
a hallway.
yes. And before, like, and just because she was a widow, she had to pay 50% down on that house in Sunset Park. Yes, because she's a widow. So that was all her savings that she
Ah,
had.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And I love that house. I
Love that
have so many
house.
great memories of that house.
Yes. So
Mhm.
I went back to that house, and my husband took me back there, and it was so weird because it looks so different.
Yeah, it doesn't
It
look the
was
same at
almost like
all.
I kind of wish I could see it, because it looks so different. Oh my gosh. Um, so I felt a lot of the Holy Spirit in that home.
Yeah.
And were you in the Sunset Park home when
Oh
you
yeah.
lived with her? Yeah. Okay.
No, when I lived with her, she was in the Rockford.
Rockford home. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, I would have loved that. I
Yeah.
probably would have still been there.
I know. Yeah, because they moved. She moved, and that made us all sad.
I know.
But
Yeah.
so you were saying God gave you Nick. So
Yes, when I wasn't even looking. Um, my my friend had said that she knew this guy who was a friend of who she was seeing, and they worked together. Actually, they all 3 worked together. And she's like, "Oh, we should totally do like a blind date or something." Well, that was like forever ago, like a month ago. She even talked about it. And so
yeah.
I'm taking a nap on the couch, and here's my phone just ringing, and I almost didn't even answer it. and, and so I did, and she's like, "Hey, we're at this restaurant. You need to come. We're setting up this blind date." I'm like, "Right now? I'm not even ready." She's like, "Yeah, let's go." I'm like, "Okay, give me like 20 minutes. Let me put something together." Because I'm like, whatever, this is probably gonna be stupid. I'm not gonna like the person, so whatever, I'll just go there for lunch.
Yeah, right.
So I almost turned around. I'm like, "Girl, this is when okay, Grandma, I'm so sorry. I did smoke a couple cigarettes, okay, growing up. So I need you to come out. I need to have a cigarette before I do this. I'm so nervous for
Yeah.
whatever reason. First, I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm gonna go. And now I'm like, oh, I'm so nervous.
Yeah. Because like now it's the time.
I know. And then so I do, and we go in, and then I barely said anything. Like normally when that's how I was. If I liked somebody, I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to sound stupid. If I said something really stupid, they're like,
Yeah.
oh, we don't want to see them again. So I didn't say much of anything except like had some laughs. And so here I am with jeans, I got an ACDC shirt and jacket on. And I didn't know how tall he was either because he was already sitting down.
Oh
And
yeah,
me,
he's
I'm just
super
like
tall.
5'2", and
Yeah.
well, I find out he's 6'7".
Yeah.
And me, I'm thinking, I'm like, oh, this is a really fun time, but I just don't see it working out. I'm 5'2", you're 6'7". It's how?
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, we could be friends. And
Yeah.
I'm like, because I wasn't used to somebody being nice. Like he made sure he paid for my lunch and all that. I'm like, oh, great. Are you expecting something? Because that's how it was.
Yeah.
And no, he wasn't expecting anything at all. We actually went out later that night to haunted houses. It was the last day that haunted houses were happening because it was November 1st. It just happened to end on like a Saturday.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, okay, let's go. Well, I made sure I ran up to the line to pay for my ticket because I did not want anybody expecting anything.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? I was going to pay for it. I'm like, well, yeah, I know, but I wanted to pay for myself. So I did that. And then we saw each other during my, like, after I got off of night shifts from my work, we go out to dinner. Had my friend ask me what kind of flowers I like. I didn't think anything of it. Nobody asked me and gets me flowers. Well, he got me my favorite flowers and all this.
Favorite
I'm just like, it's pink lilies.
Oh.
Yeah. So he got me those. He would get me like these big stuffed animals for like Valentine's Day and stuff. And I don't know. And I'm just like, okay.
Poured into you. He loved
I
them.
know. I'm like, what is this? Within 2 weeks, he had said that he loved me. And I'm like, oh, whoa. I don't know what that even means, because I'm like, your family's supposed to love you, but this is what happened to me and my family. So
right.
I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
So I'm like, I can't say that yet.
Yeah.
Well, within a month, I'm like, okay, I think I love you too, is what I said. I think.
Boy, is Nick patient.
He's like, what do you mean you think? I'm like, well, because I think this is what it's supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
But I don't know for sure. I mean, I really have nothing else to. I didn't love anyone else outside my family. That just hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So you don't really know until you know. And I just thought I did.
Right. Yeah.
Well, then I moved in with him. So, I mean, and we've been together ever since. I mean, not to say we haven't had our struggles, because I'd be lying.
Yeah. And they all do,
Yeah.
But God
dealing
knew.
with the traumas, but yeah, he put us together. Honestly, it was the weirdest thing when I felt like I knew him for a long time when I hadn't known him at all. We actually moved to Rockford the same year, 2004.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he moved up to start jobs. He just graduated from college, and so that's where he went, was to start work. Rockford's very big in construction.
Yeah.
Well, I moved up there that year too when we moved to Rockford, and I started going to high school. And honestly, I think that's the only reason why we got led to Rockford in the first place. I always wondered, like, why?
Yeah.
Why Rockford? What the heck? There's nothing good here.
Yeah.
And well, if
look at
that,
that.
we probably wouldn't have met.
Yeah.
If I would have went off to college, which I didn't find anything I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to community college for a little bit just to try it out and see if I wanted to do nursing, which wasn't my thing. I didn't want to see people on their worst days every day.
Yeah.
I had enough of that.
Yeah. Yes. And since you were a little girl, you have always loved animals, and that was like your happy place. And you know what makes sense? Knowing all of the trauma that you've experienced and the dishonesty and the abandonment and all the stuff that has happened to you. Like, that animals are loyal and loving, and they're like legit, right? They're going to be good to you. And so from a tiny little person, you've been loving animals, they're like everything to you.
I think that's why I connect with them more than people.
Yeah.
And there wasn't that veterinary assistant college open until way later, when it didn't even work with my schedule. So I probably would have done that, but that's okay. Everything happens for a reason.
It has. Now let's tell the good news. Where are you now today?
So today, I am living in Lena, Illinois.
Yep.
On our 12-acre farm. I've been writing it in diaries since I could write. And it made sense. I wanted a farm. I wanted all these different animals. That's what I wanted. That's what I knew I wanted. And through all that manifestation, it came at actually a perfect time, because if we would have waited, the housing market has gone insane. We wouldn't even be able to afford it.
Yeah.
So it happened at
perfect timing. God's timing.
Well, as soon as I saw the listing, something pulled me to it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like this is our place. We have to wait a few more months yet. And it stayed available.
Like
And
it was meant to be.
it was.
Excuse me, I'm gonna let my dog out of the room.
Okay.
She's bugging me. Go ahead. She's a little escape artist, my dog. She digs, she's half husky and other half is lab. So she digs and she escapes. And I'm constantly running and chasing after her and getting my workout in.
Oh my goodness.
She'll be a year next month.
Oh, so she's all puppy.
She's all puppy. All puppy. Yeah. And she's so cute. Like I can't even be mad at her. Like I'm mad at her when I'm running around my life. But then I'm like, oh, you're so cool.
She's lucky she's cute.
Yeah, exactly. So did you pray to have a farm? Was this like a prayer that you had been asking God, or?
I would say I was more talking in my head, honestly,
Yeah.
about it. Like I just wrote about it. I talked about it. Like I was always me. And you know what my stepdad also did? Was say that I was obsessed with animals. Made me feel like I was a weirdo. I'm like, this is like me.
He wanted you to be obsessed with him,
Yeah, something.
taking away the attention.
Oh yeah. Made me feel like
it also
would
brought
try to
joy.
make me feel like I was gay because I wasn't going out with any boys. But then, oh my gosh, if I do find someone, then it's like, oh, you can't do this. It was just like so mind games as
So
well
much
as
manipulation.
the sexual stuff. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
Walking on eggshells. My stomach was always in knots. Going to doctors, them not finding anything. Well, now, since there's more studies, they're like, oh, well, kids who have a lot of stomach aches, you can't find anything wrong. It's usually like anxiety. So I've had anxiety my whole life, basically, because of him.
Yeah, that cortisol just pumping through.
Yeah, it was
through fight or flight.
Always. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well, I'm so glad that your story ends as a good story. That you're happy, married, you have your farm, and your animals are so awesome. What's the name of your farm on social media? What's it called?
Deer Run Farms.
Deer Run Farms. And you sell, what do you sell there for people who do you sell stuff that you can ship out, or is it local?
We don't ship out, it's local.
Okay.
But we have chicken eggs, we have duck eggs, we have goat milk, goat cheese, goat meat.
Yeah.
It tastes like beef, just so y'all know. It does taste really good.
Yeah.
What else do we have?
Tastes like beef, like ground beef.
Yeah, it tastes like beef. And the steaks we have them cut into steaks, chops, stew meat, and then ground meat.
Yeah. I mean, as a health coach, I am so jealous of your food. Okay.
We raise meat chickens too.
I mean, just the best food ever in your body. Your own everything.
Well, I mainly do our grocery shopping at the farmer's market that I set up too, because our town didn't have one.
Yeah. So you created the farmer's market.
Correct.
Your local farmer's market, and you sell your produce. Do you sell your meat there too?
Yes, the meat, the eggs, and then I bring like lemon balm, which is an herb that grows around here. I make my own bug spray, my own goat milk laundry soap.
Yeah, and now that stuff you could mail.
The goat milk laundry soap, yes, and the bug spray. Too.
I'll buy some bug spray. Just love me.
Yes, and our bug spray works amazing. Like, my friend went in the deep woods with her kids, and they all sprayed with it, Didn't come back with any bug bites.
Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'll take some.
Okay.
Okay, so in your journey of healing and manifesting and arriving, I would say arriving, what are your daily practices now to stay in alignment with the Holy Spirit?
I mean, I'm not going to say I'm perfect because I'm always having to come back to it.
Yeah, all of it.
Yeah, always a work in progress. But meditation, being still really helps. Getting focused really helps. And then emptying out your mind and just letting them know what you need help with. I found out that my dad's like always around. He's like basically my guardian angel. So I'm always calling out to him.
Yeah.
I call for all my guides, all my angels, everything.
Yes.
Just to help and be there because we do have the ability to act. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not going to know that you need them unless you call them in.
And they're like, what can we do? We're bored. I'm like, hey, all you just who are bored, can you come help me?
Right.
I'll be like, hey, I'll take it.
Calling all angels. Feel guilty. Yeah, don't feel guilty for calling out on them because they're way past our ability to even know what they can do. They can do so much.
Yeah.
At one time.
Yeah. Yes. I love that. So, and then you've done you've done some EMDR, but you didn't really like have a good person for that. But then you also have done some Reiki and you've done other different healing retreat kind of stuff. I know you have somebody that is local to you that does meditations and things like that. I can't remember her name.
Yes, she's a shaman.
Shaman, yes. What's her name?
Her name's Tegan.
Yes, Tegan.
And you can find her on social media as well.
Yes.
It's Tarot with Tegan, but she also has a YouTube channel that's Shaman Talk with Tegan.
Cool.
But yes, I mean, you can get all kinds of energy work.
Yeah. Has she done energy work on you specifically?
Oh, yeah. Every month I'm scheduling that because I know my chakras have to get cleared up.
Yes.
Cords might need to get cut or.
Yeah.
I mean, you even sometimes get objects in your chakras that need to be removed. It's crazy how things get plugged up. Everybody in this world, all of us humans need energy work.
Oh, yeah.
I can't believe that I went so many years without even knowing about it.
Well, that's how people get sick.
Yes.
You get cancer and disease because you haven't moved your old stories.
Or the ones who say, I never get sick. Well, that's not good either. That means you're so stressed out that you can't even have your body relax to get a little sick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you do
it's normal for that.
You do a lot of health, nutritional healing. So and if people look at your social media, they'll see like the things you cook with and eat and like a lot of nutrition and medicine in food.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, when someone looks at me, they're going to be like, what do you mean? She looks like she weighs like 500 pounds. But honestly, what you see on the outside is one thing. All my blood work is normal and great. Nice. Blood pressure is amazing. My insulin levels are amazing. And I even have my own glucose meter to double check because I want to know like what spikes my blood, what doesn't, whatever. So since I have polycystic ovarian syndrome on top of everything else, I have insulin resistance. So I have to make sure that I get my movement in so that my cells become not resistant, like sensitive to it. So the insulin can actually go into the blood cells like it should.
Right.
On a normal person.
Right. Now, how do you get your movement? Is that like working on the farm?
Working on the farm, or I'll do planks, or you know what I just did because I wanted to clear my head. I was never like a long distance runner. I loved sprinting. I sprinted, and yes, I sweated so bad, but it felt so
So
good.
good.
So good. Like I was feeling like the depression, fogginess, and I'm like, what the heck? You know, I need to do something. And I just felt like, you know what? Something was telling me that you need to go out and jog, run, whatever. And I'm to me, I'm thinking like, are you serious? And then I go out there and I'm like, they were right.
That worked.
And I saw some cool stuff. I saw an owl swoop down across the pasture, all our bats, an awesome sunset. Like, listen to that conscious, the voice, God, whomever that you believe in or think that's talking to you, because they know what they're talking about. Just be open to listen.
Yeah.
And that's what I lose sight of sometimes, is not listening and not being open to listening, because I'm so in my head sometimes. Well, the anxiety, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, rabbit hole central.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to control something when it's like, okay, I just need to like let it be.
Let it go.
Live my life. It's going to happen how it's going to happen.
That's where being still is important, because then you can actually hear the voice of God, you know, instead of being so busy that there's no way that you, because he doesn't yell. They're like whispers, you know. So.
No. Well, I feel like sometimes I get yelled at, but I think it might be karma. I should have just stopped and listened.
All right. So we're coming to a close here. I was just wondering if you would share what your favorite scripture is.
Of course. Do you want me to read it or just share what it is?
You could, well, if you would like to read it, that would be cool.
Sure. So I actually have it on a little plaque here.
Yay.
And it's the 23rd Psalm. So it's, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever.
I love that. And I love that that's your favorite scripture, because you have a farm and acres and pastures, and it's so appropriate. And he is our good shepherd.
The first time I actually saw that was only the part where it says, ye, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, was a line on both sides of German shepherds and this black and white cat walking down the middle.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome. And I looked into it deeper. I'm like, oh wait, this means something even deeper than that.
Yep.
But I'll say that all the time. If I'm nervous about something, really scared about something, especially driving.
Yeah.
Because that's just gives me anxiety in itself. I just say that over and over and over again until I feel that sense of peace.
Yes, I love that. Well, I appreciate you so much. I love you so much for coming on.
I love you too.
Reach out to you that may have experienced, sexual, from anybody else, like molestation or any of that stuff. Are they allowed to reach out to you on your messenger or something?
Sure. Yeah. Reach out to me. I don't have a problem if you want to talk or want to know how I got through it or whatever, because what we said today was just to scratch the surface of what I went through. And to be in that deepness and be vulnerable and even to talk to somebody who you don't know, it's very scary. So I already understand that, because heck, I don't even know how many people I've talked to. Yeah. I've talked even count on both hands, honestly.
Yeah.
So yeah, if anyone wants to
It
reach
could be,
out, definitely.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And is there anything else that you would like to add to this before we head out? Anything you would like to?
Um, I would say even when you're feeling your darkest days, just remember that this too shall pass.
Mm,
It feels like BS at the moment,
yeah.
but I've I was able to get this farm. I was able to get my husband. I was able to get other things. There is a light at the end of the tunnel, even if you can't see it yet.
Right.
Just continue to push through, continue to call and talk to whoever you can that's close to you that you feel good about. Don't reach out to the people who don't bring you joy. I've had
Yes.
to set that boundary, and that was really a recent one.
Mm.
There were so many people who I would call, and I'm like, I feel terrible. I feel worse than when
Yeah.
before I called them. So
Oh,
there's no point in that. Like, reach out to people that will bring you joy, that will lift you up, not bring you down. That's what I
right.
definitely would give you advice for that. 'Cause I
Yes.
learned that too many years later.
Yeah. Same. I think that we chase so interesting as like humans. I feel like we chase the people that don't want us and ignore the people that do.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
weird.
it is weird.
It's like a game. Like, oh, they don't want me. I'm gonna make them want me. Oh, you
I
want me? Oh, we're
know.
good.
Mhm.
What?
Yeah, they're living
As
their
we get
life. So,
older, I'm like, oh, I need to pour into the valuable people in my life that really give a shit, that really do care and aren't judging me, even though they may be family. They're very judgmental and they're not helping, you know.
right, correct.
So I do feel so many similarities with you. And as you and I both have healed from our stepfathers, we have been in communication. You and I together have struggled a lot and leaned on each other. So I know we're
Yeah,
cousins, but it almost feels like sisters.
I know.
You know?
We definitely had that sister relationship growing up, way more than
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
I was like attached to your hip. I wanted to go everywhere that you went.
Yes. And I
And
love
you're
that.
probably like, I need some time away with just my friends. And I'm like, no, no, you don't.
No, I wanted you around. I loved having you around. Like I said, you were like the first baby that came into after me. Like I was the first grandchild, but then you came and I was like, give me that, give me that baby.
It's a
Because I
live
love
baby.
babies and it was a real life baby. And I was like, I'll
Right.
change your diaper. I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll
You're
hold
right.
it. It was so
Oh yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, I love you so much. Again, thank you for showing up for me today. And
Yeah,
I,
absolutely.
I'd love to have you back on if you feel like you want to go deeper into stuff later.
Sure.
Always a good platform, and I appreciate you being available for others. And I will make sure to tag you in the video so that they can find you to message you.
Sounds good to me.
All right. I love you, girl.